Thanks for tuning in again, everybody. We're back with your favorite podcast, Lucas, Tigers, and Bronze. Oh my.
All right, Luca Nation, welcome back to another episode. Luca Nation, what's going on with you guys? Let us know. Drop some comments. We love engaging with you guys. So this weekend was busy. This was a busy weekend. Cage, just got back from snorkeling. And he's like, we got to do another episode. Episode.
It's a busy weekend. I'm in the city. I got my suit on today. It's getting a little cold up here in the Northeast. Work a full day, come home, do some dinner for the kids, go out, throw the football around before this Raider game starts with my son. And this guy comes back looking like Bodie from Point Break over here. I'm not even going to give you Johnny Utah. Tells me he's snorkeling all day. And I'm like, come on, we owe the fans an episode. Let's go. Let's get going here. We got an episode here. Let's get on it.
It was hard for me to be offline all day, I got to be honest, but it was kind of nice. Especially yesterday. I think I edited 3 episodes yesterday.
Dude, you did a pretty good job too. You even make me sound good, which is amazing. I mean, that's an impressive thing in and of itself. To make me sound good, forget it. You got to be like an editing magician.
So today we went out snorkeling there was a group of 6 of us. And what was cool about that is it was a lot of people that also, like me, have left where they were originally from and they took an extended break to go travel the world, and they're doing coaching, online coaching and creating content. One of the guys is a videographer, and he creates like YouTube videos and stuff with 100,000 views. And the one common thing that I wanted to bring to Luca Nation that I'm super passionate about is I think we're all looking for freedom in some sort. And Cage, you could jump in here and if I get a little sappy or annoying, cut me off. But like, that's really what all of my plays, all of the tactics, all of the ideas and strategies that I'm bringing you to buy cards with are really meant to do. They're meant to allow you guys to live the life you've always wanted on your own terms. And to me, that looks a lot like freedom. And that's my own passion. That's what I'm in it for. And Cage, I don't know if you have a different goal or different vision, but I think we all want to be free. I think we all want our time back.
Well, I don't like Tyler Hero as much as you do. I don't like George Michael as much as you do. So go ahead and sing about freedom all you like. But, I'm here to talk sports and sports cards. And, that's about that. That's about that. So
who do you got in the game tonight?
I'm a Raider fan, pal. So I got the Raiders.
Saints.
Saints are very, very good. I think it's only a 4-point spread. To be honest, I have to root for the Raiders because I'm a Raider fan. My heart says Raiders. My brain says that while they'll keep it close, I think that the Saints will ultimately end up covering. If I were a betting man, I'd be betting all kinds. I did on the Thrive Fantasy app. I did bet a bunch of overs tonight on Drew Brees, how many yards he's going to have. But I also bet a bunch of overs on Derek Carr and Josh Jacobs. I think is going to have a pretty good game. I think both tight ends are going to show up big tonight. Waller for the Raiders and Cook, right, who played for the Raiders, in the last season. So it's fun to watch. First game in Vegas. I'm pretty sure they said something like the bars opened in Vegas at like midnight last night. So the fans are ready. They're they can't watch it from the stadium, but they'll watch it. They'll do fine. Plus, talk about like a bachelor parties, NFL matchup Monday night dream. It's New Orleans against Las Vegas. That's a battle that many grooms to be have with their groomsmen. Which one are we going to? Vegas and New Orleans.
Where would you rather go to?
I've never been to New Orleans. Can you believe that? I've never been to New Orleans.
I got plastered in New Orleans on New Year's and woke up in a hotel room. I had no idea where it was. And I lost my iPhone. And what ended up happening was someone found it, called me on it 3 months later, and shipped it back to me.
Wow.
True story. He says, don't worry about taking care of me. Jesus got me.
That's pretty nice.
It was really nice, right?
That's pretty nice. That's, those are the kind of things that don't happen that often. I have found 3 iPhones in the last 5 years. I'm in the city, so I'm in cabs, I'm in Ubers, all kinds of stuff. And I have returned 3 iPhones just because I figure at some point in time it might be me losing it, and I'd like somebody to be able to return it to me. So, like everything else, man, do and behave how you'd want others to do and behave. So it's fun stuff. So crazy sports weekend, right? I mean, and we were pretty good with our picks. and we did all right here. And let me ask you a question, just so that the audience can get a feel for this, right? The Luca Nation can get a feel for this. So when you came home from snorkeling, and it's 7:00, 7:15 Cancun time, and you turn on the TV and you realize that there was no basketball, what was your initial reaction there?
I was pissed. I'm still pissed.
You're still pissed. I can
I
tell.
was freaking pissed, man. I was coming home. I was like telling everyone, I'm like, I'm so pumped. The Heat Celtics series, it's like a 90s brawl series. Like they're playing good basketball. They're defending well. I get home, I open my Score mobile app, and there's no basketball. Cage says they took a day off.
Yeah, the East. All the way back to the Lakers tomorrow. All the way back to Anthony Davis's team. So you're upset there's no pick. So let me ask you, because I'm asking on behalf of Sammy Reyes, right? One of our listeners who presented a trade here, and you're a basketball guy, and you also know about the market on these things. If you owned a Luka Prism rookie, a 2018 Luka base Prism PSA 10, and somebody offered you an Anthony Davis 2012 base Prism PSA 10 rookie for it, would you do it? Which end of that trade would you want to be on?
Brother, I think we're in the most overreact culture we've ever been in as human beings. Like, I think we overreact to game winners. I think we overreact to good series. Dude, like, you don't compare. Like, I agree Anthony Davis is having a great series. I agree Anthony Davis is an amazing player. But buying cards is not necessarily about who just hit a game-winning shot. It's who's a better long-term investment, and it's a no-brainer that Luka is a better long-term investment than Anthony Davis. Now, I don't know how much Anthony Davis Prism PSA 10 is right now. Do you know what it is?
About $2,000.
Well, then that's a no-brainer. It's an
It was
$800.
higher. Yeah,
Well,
it's
it's
$800 difference. Yep,
Well,
I think it's a no-brainer also. That was the advice that
Well,
I gave.
well let me just finish up,
Yeah,
just so
please.
people don't think I'm stupid. If someone offers you a card for $800 more than your card is for, you take it and then you sell it, and now you sold your Luka Prism PSA 10 for $800 more, and then you just rebuy another Luka.
Yeah.
But
yeah, even if you like Luka, you get the Anthony Davis, you sell it, you take the $2,000, you buy a Luka back, and you got $800 in your pocket, 100%.
yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Oh
But
man, their car just ran into a horrible sack. He was avoiding it from the right side, and the left side was even worse. He might have lost like 18 yards there. Let's see, they started on the 40. They were driving well. I mean, this is the mistake. They give it to Jacobs like 5 straight plays, and he just positive yards, and they decide to drop back, and yeah, he sacked it. It's at least a 15-yard loss. Ugh,
but let me ask you guys.
Go ahead.
When there's no basketball on, whose name is going to get brought up more in the offseason? Luka or Anthony Davis?
I don't know, man. So obviously Luka, I would say, is the clear one on that. Look, if they were equal, if they were both $1,200 cards right now, and the pops were anywhere near equal, I would say I'd want the Luka. But that Davis card, Luka at its peak was $2,000. The Davis card at its peak was like $3,500. So really, you almost have to look at the prices that you could sell them both for, like you said, and do that analysis and forget about that one is Luka and one's Anthony Davis. The reason why the Davis is more is because there's significantly less Davises. That's all.
Is that a 2012?
Yes, it's a 2012 Prism. Yes.
That 2012 Prism is insanity.
I love the basketball release. It's basically the modern day 1986 clear set.
There are so many good players in that set. It's unbelievable.
So here's another one. I was going to call PWCC, but they're actually right. I have a card listed with them. It listed yesterday. It's a Bradley Beal 2012 Prism. Silver. PSA 10 silver. There's only 10 of them. So the base cards are selling for like $600-700. So I can only imagine what a silver sells for. Thousands, right? There's only 10 of them. But back then, before everybody affectionately referred to these things as silvers, they were called Prism. So back in 2012, they were Panini Prism Prisms. They just said Prism twice because it's like a refractor. That was Prism's refractor. It was called a Prism. The release was a Prism. So on the slab, it's actually called the 2012 Bradley Beal Prisms. Doesn't say silver anywhere.
I like that.
Now, if I were selling this myself, I would put silver in the listing to make sure people were looking for silvers. They would say it's a silver because now they've started calling the same cards silvers. But the PWCC listing does not have it as a silver. So I'm curious to see what happens.
Right. And with PWCC, you don't even get paid for like a month and a half after, right?
Yeah, I won't get paid till the middle of October.
Here's the thing with Anthony Davis. I think he's unbelievable. He's one of the best basketball players in the league, but I think he's always going to be viewed as LeBron's little brother.
Yeah. I mean, so it's not like a handing off of the torch, right? Although
No.
I guess it could be, right? I mean,
It's not
could you make a comparison that when Kobe won his first, I'm going to really piss you off because I know you're a Kobe nut hugger, but when Kobe won his first couple, it was Shaq's team. I mean, Shaq won the MVP, the Finals MVP 3 times in a row, right? But obviously, after Shaq left, just like Kobe's going to leave, if Davis stays there and wins another couple of championships, is that enough?
No, because he's not charismatic. He doesn't have a star personality. Dude, it's more than being a good basketball player. There's a ton of really good basketball players in the league. It's about being a star and having a fandom and a community of people that buy your shoes, buy your jersey, that literally love you. Like Giannis, say what you want, but people love Giannis. Luka, people love Luka. I don't think that AD has that passionate of a following, unless I'm missing
So
something.
we have a passionate following. B Daily Sports Cards. I want to make sure I have his thing right? So that's one of our followers, right? B Daily Sports Cards. Let me make sure. I don't want to misquote guys here. Yep, B Daily Sports Cards. So I've now said his name like 11 times. So he hooked me up. He was able to find some football cards in the wild, a blaster of Donruss and a blaster of Mosaic. And, I give him a little for his trouble and obviously shipping and the whole deal. But he sent a cool bonus pack in there for Ian because I'm always talking about the Olympic stuff. And Ian actually has a Vince Carter Olympic team jersey and stuff. He sent like a U.S. Olympic pack, a sealed pack of like Olympic cards, which is cool. But also wrote in there a little note like, hey, send me a picture of the best stuff you hit. Best sports podcast in the business.
That's really nice.
I'll take a picture of it. I'll show it to you. That's awesome, man. That's good stuff. So B Daily Sports Cards, thank you. We appreciate that, man. We really do. And right now, Ian's got a tooth that's loose. So the Tooth Fairy can stick a Mosaic box under his pillow when that thing finally comes out.
That's legit. Appreciate you, B Daily. I've interacted with him a bit too, and he's a stand-up guy.
So,
dude, let me read you real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Top 15 most popular NBA jerseys: LeBron, Giannis, Curry, Tatum, Harden, Luka, Kawhi, then Anthony Davis, then Embiid, then Kyrie.
So he's not that far behind. He's not that far behind Kawhi, and he's got LeBron on his team. You'd like to think if LeBron wasn't there, he'd be the most popular Lakers jersey. That actually is surprising to me. I thought Luka would be higher and Davis would be lower.
Take it for what it's worth. Maybe everyone has blind spots, right? Things that just they don't see. Maybe I don't see it with Anthony Davis. I think he's very good, but I don't think he's a star in terms of like brand ability. I think he's an unbelievable basketball player.
All right. Well, listen, I think we've beat the shit out of this question. I think you do the trade, but if you like Luka better, you do the trade, sell the card, get your Luka money, get it back, and pocket some cash. It's as easy as that.
Crazy offer for a trade.
Yeah, but it's cool, right? I like those one-on-one trades. Like instead of people, usually I'm the guy who's trying to add in like 5 cards to get to 1. I'm trying to get the clear best card out of it by giving away a bunch of stuff. The Raiders defense cannot stop Alvin Kamara. Jeez.
Yeah, and if you guys watched I would go back and watch that game winner yesterday. That was an awesome game. I hate that the Lakers play on like what is it called, third gear. But what is Mason Plumlee doing on defense there? Why is he calling?
They actually subbed him in. I think they subbed in Plumlee. I'm pretty sure that with that ball going out of bounds with that extra 2 seconds, they put Plumlee in the game. I don't think he was in the game. They put him in for defense, and he looked like he was lost.
He literally called a switch when no one was setting a pick on him. But dude, I might play. And just to be transparent, Luka Nation, this is a play I believe is a winner, but this is a play that I've bought in on numerous occasions over the last 6 months. So it's not a play that I'm buying with you right now. I want to be upfront about that. And I told Cage about that. I said, is that okay? He said, as long as you believe that it's still a play now, we could give it to them. Is that right?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And if you convince me, which I know you're not in this to convince people, you told me that a bunch of times, but I might buy it. Let's see what it is.
It's probably one of my I wouldn't say it's the most invested, but it's the most amount of cards I've bought. And the play is the Kobe Fleer Ultra rookie card. Okay?
Okay.
The Kobe Fleer Ultra rookie card. So let me give you a quick rundown on that card. That pop, the PSA 10 pop on that card is 300. 300.
Wow.
That's nothing. That's what it's hands down. I'll let you guys know right now. It's the hardest card you're going to ever buy, raw and grade. I just subbed 20 of them and got 0 PSA 10 so far. 0. But here's the thing. That's a card that sells raw for 20 to 40 bucks. Especially when there's a downturn in the market like there is right now with Kobe's. It's like a $25, $30 card. Okay?
Okay.
That's a card that people oftentimes have in their collection and they don't even realize it. So it's not a card you need to rush to eBay and buy because more than likely you're going to be picking up duds. And here's why I think that card is a play. So for 25 bucks, let's say, I'll tell you how to find the best condition ones of that card. A PSA 8 of that card sells over 100 now. A PSA 9 of that card sells over 250 now. This is in the downturn of the market. In early to mid-August, PSA 9s of that card were selling for $450.
Wow.
PSA 8s were selling for $150.
Okay, so do me a
PSA
favor. Take a pause. It's Fleer Ultra. That's what we're talking about. 1996
Oh.
Fleer Ultra Kobe Bryant, right?
I got Cage's attention with
Yes.
those multiples.
Do you know what card number it is?
No, what are card numbers, Cage?
Okay.
All
All right, keep going. Keep going. I'll look it up. I'll look it up while you're talking.
I got you, brother. It's the 52, Fleer Ultra 52. It's actually my favorite card of his, if you were to ask me. It's the one where it's just a cool looking card, man. I got to be honest. I like the design of it a lot. It's a really scarce card in great condition. The edges are chipping on it. It's very sensitive. The surface is easily messed up. But here's the thing with that card. And here's how I'm playing it. I was able to, let's say, invest $500 into that, right? You could buy 20 of them,
Yep.
25.
And I'll tell you in a second how I would go about buying them. When you get them, you could use the GemMint photo magnifier, right, Cage?
Yep, 100%.
Inspect them. And then here's how I did it. I set the best ones into PSA and got a ton of PSA 9s and a few PSA 8.5s and 8s. No 7s, the best ones. And then the shit ones, I sent to SGC. Just to see what would happen. Because here's my logic with that.
Dude,
You get it.
do me a favor. Put on a football game for a second.
I can't because I stream, so I have to turn my computer on. What are you upset about? What are you upset about?
Jonathan Abram, who plays like he's an amazing defensive player. He flies all over the field. He missed 15 games last season because he hurt his shoulder in the first game of the season, basically, and he was all over the Hard Knocks. He just went for a tackle on Kamara at the 1 yard line, and he like flew into. I guess they have this like weird like camera stand over there. It looks like it's on like a Bobcat, like a construction vehicle. It looks like he's under it right now, and he hasn't moved since the play was made. I don't know if he's unconscious. I don't know if he's stuck under the thing. I have no idea what's going on, but it's insane. I hope the guy's okay.
One of my favorite things about the NBA in the bubble has been how much space they give the players. I don't understand why in football they put the entire like staff of the football team on the lineups.
Watch 24. Okay, so he falls and he hits into the thing over there.
Why do they put that thing over there literally 3 feet away from that?
You know what? He looks all right. It looks like, but he might have just hurt his same shoulder. You know, he might just be pissed off that he hurt his shoulder. It doesn't look like he hit his head, but he hasn't moved. It's crazy.
You're not giving any credibility to my statement that has so much validity.
Oh, it's 100% true. But basketball has some problems too. Basketball, the crowd, the stands, everybody's right there on top of people.
I agree. That's why I said in the bubble, it's so nice that they have all that room. Why do they put everyone on top of each other when there's tons of space?
I hope that our podcast doesn't have many basketball owners. Like, I hope Dolan's not listening to this. He'll kill you. because they need that courtside money, man. That's basically like better than their luxury suites up there. That courtside stuff, people want to sit right there. They want somebody to fall in their laps. Kevin Hart wants somebody, to drink his beer after they miss a shot. I mean, that's the almighty dollar right there. That's money. That's money.
Love
seats.
it. So, Luca Nation, pardon that interruption. Brought to you by.
I apologize, guys, but I'm a Raider fan, and this kid better be all right because he was a first round pick last year, and he hurt his shoulder. He missed him for 15 out of 16 games. I don't want this kid hurt again.
So the Fleer Ultra 52 is the number of the card. It's a black front, really nice card. I like the design a lot on it. It's a $20 to even $40 card. Here's how I would go ahead and buy it, right? The multiples make sense. And if you get a PSA 10, do you know what a PSA 10 sells for in that card?
Listen, I remember buying that stuff. It's like a shiny Ultra on it. And it's a very thin card stock. There's got to be so few 10s. I mean, what does it sell for? $500, $600?
2,200.
Oh my God! I mean, it doesn't surprise me just because it's so condition sensitive. I mean, it's more than I thought it would be, but that's amazing. So yeah, that's a nice play, right? You buy enough of those. You telling me you could buy 100 of them, or 50 of them, whatever it is, and one of them pans out for you, then you're doing okay.
That's exactly how I'm playing it. And I'm doing it in a few intervals, right? So it's going to be a patient play. It's a play that's pissed me off at times. Like when I got these 9s, I was like, that's bullshit. I know one of them is a 10. But here's what I'm going to do is I bought them in intervals, right? I probably buy 5 or 7 or 10 every month when I see them come out, when someone's selling them. I sub them, and then when I get the sub back, I go ahead and I review the card again, and I'm just going to crack it and resub it. And that's just going to go into my cost.
So where are you buying them?
Oftentimes, people keep them in their lot, and there'll be like Kobe rookies for sale. Anyone interested? So in Facebook groups, people post that on the weekends sometimes. And there's genuinely some good ones there. What I've also seen and I've done is made relationships with collectors from the 90s who have a ton of Kobe rookies in their stash. They're actually like a lot of collectors in the 90s. They're so averse to grading. They don't even want to deal with it. It's really interesting. I don't know if you've met those people too. So like I bought 10 for 250 from a guy like that I bought one off him on eBay. We built a relationship and he's like, hey, by the way, I'm going to look through my collection. And if I have any more, I'll let you know. And I said, sounds great. So he texted me. I texted him back and he's like, I have 10 more of these. So I bought 250 offline off eBay for 10 of them for 250. So I would build relationships. I wouldn't rush into these. I would check eBay all the time. I would have an eBay alert and look at the pictures. And if there's one that can grade a 10, I would scoop it up. But I just want people to know they're very, very condition sensitive. Hands down the hardest card I've had to grade. But the
It's a cool idea about looking on Facebook groups. I mean, in my basement, I have a bunch of Shaqs, but when I got back into cards this past time around, I had a bunch of Shaq rookies I sent in for grading myself. And I got some 10s. Just because whatever. I mean, I just had them in monster boxes, 5,000 count boxes. I got a bunch of football stuff. I guess I should look through now too. I mean, I got a bunch of cards. So
this is
right.
a Kobe card. This is a Kobe card that people don't even really care about. It's a really interesting one. I think it's
for $2,200, people care about the $2,200 one. For me, it's like 10.
Dude, when people talk about Kobe cards, they talk about the Topps 138 and the Topps Chrome.
Yep.
This is an under the radar type of Kobe rookie.
I like it. Well, also, it's funny because our brains must be thinking along the same lines because we've just been on football overload over the weekend, right? We picked the Seahawks game correctly. We were 11-3 in our picks with and against the spread. We were immersed in it. It's baseball. I got the Yankees on, and I like your Kobe play. My pick is also a basketball play. So you were warm on this guy, then cold on this guy, then maybe you're back warm on this guy. But if I were to ask you, how much do you think a SGA Prism base card sells for? Not a PSA 10, just an SGA Prism base card, especially given the fact that Tyler Hero, who's great, we love him, But you know,
I
those
already
cards are
know.
what are they? What are they? $50
I already
now?
know, and not because I checked. Not because I promise you, I've not checked this market in a long time. But I this is what I do. I understand overreact culture. I guarantee you, it's $180.
I'm not talking about a PSA 10. I'm just talking about a regular base card, just a regular base.
Is the PSA 10 180?
About 200, 2 and change. Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably dropped to 20 to 30.
Exactly.
It was
Exactly.
probably it was $50 in August too. By the way.
Yep. $50 in August.
Yep.
And people have overreacted, and I mean, this is one of the leading youngsters in the game, right? I mean, he can do it all. He fills the stat sheet. You know, he's you know, he's young. He's gonna be great. He's gonna be awesome. He was already awesome this year. You know, they did more in the playoffs than most people thought they were going to be able to do. And I'm looking at one right now that's $23.95 and free shipping. You know,
Wow,
I mean,
buy it now.
yeah, buy it now. I'm looking at one that's $23.99 free shipping. Buy one, get one 40% off. So you can get
Is
two
it centered?
for $40. Yeah, well, I mean, the one they show a picture of is centered. I'm looking at ComC as low as $19.80
Wow. Guys,
for
I'll let
SGA.
you guys know this is one of the harder cards to grade.
It definitely is, but 10s are 10 times multiple, if not more. If you're getting it for $19.80 and the PSA 10 right now, with it coming down, is $220, that's an 11 times multiple. And that card will be $250 to $300 when the season starts, in the run up to the next season. So it's almost a no-brainer at $20. So the card we're talking about now is Shea Gilgeous Alexander. It's, you know, for you guys that like me to spell, there's this little long one. It's SHAI.
Please don't spell this whole thing.
Come on, GILGEOUS-ALEXANDER. It's 2018 Panini Prism Basketball number 184, just the base raw card. And I'm telling you, I'm not going to buy this right now, but you can go on eBay, ComC, whatever it is, $19.80 to have one for. You can buy multiples. There's so many of these available, and I like this play because no one's looking for it now. Everybody's looking for Joe Burrow mosaic cards, and everybody's looking for this week. Everybody's looking for the quarterback Justin Herbert now because he had one game and lost. So everybody go flock and pay $50 for his mosaic cards for no reason, when this kid has been great for 2 years already, and he's going to be great for the next 10. So, I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. We've talked about this with a bunch of our guests, right? You know, there is a strategy in this sports card investing that don't try to time the market during the season, time it outside the season. After the season ends and cards drop, you find the bargains, you find the overreactions, and then you sell them when the season starts, or you sell them when they have their first good game. And this card is a perfect example of it, because I'm sitting here flipping between the Yankees in baseball and the Raiders in football, and nobody's thinking about basketball other than the teams that are left. Everybody's thinking about the Lakers. Everybody's thinking about, you know, LeBron. Nobody's thinking about the Thunder right now. And that's your time to pounce, right? And it's a $20 card, $25 card, even $28 card. You can get a bunch of them in that range, and you wind up, you know, with a bargain there. And you're right, and I was going to mention the same thing. Although I do have one that I found out the grades today, that it's grading a 10. So you can send it in and still get 10s, buying them raw off of eBay. And I've never gotten less than a 9 on them. So, you know, even the 9s are selling for significantly more than what these raw prices are on eBay. So obviously take a look, you know, make sure that you get good pictures, and make sure that you're checking them out with your Gemmin Studios magnifying glass, just like Andrew said. But yeah, this is a card. It's just, you know, it's a play that I saw today. And I'm like, this card's come down too much. Let's make sure these guys know about it.
Yeah, 100%. And let's say you inspect it with your magnifier and it's like no good.
Okay. You'll just sell it next season when it gets a little bit hotter. Like, you know,
Yeah.
just because it's a dud is not the end of the world. I have 2 questions for you.
Yep.
Dude, I
Go
saw
ahead.
feeling across the board a little bit of a sell-off in baseball cards. Is that just how it is? Is it just because baseball has no demand? Like, is baseball just like, what do you see with baseball?
I don't know. Like, where's the sell-off?
It's not a huge sell-off, but like Soto cards were $240, now they're $200. Acuna cards were $220, now they're $175. Tatis cards were 250. Now they're 200. These are all good
So,
players.
so I can tell you easily, right? So Soto was a huge jump. Every team basically, it's like hockey this year. Every team's making the playoffs, but somehow the Nationals found a way not to make the playoffs. So Soto's season's over in a week. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but
And
he's
that's
dominating.
it. Doesn't matter. He's going to be done. He's not going to have any more time to dominate. He's not going to win an MVP. He's not going to go to the postseason. You're not going to see much more out of him. And that's just it's. We've talked about it for this whole episode. The overreaction culture, right? He can have a great year. People would rather sell him now and get 85 or 90% of what he's worth and move their money into mosaic football or whatever it may be. I'm telling you, that's just the mentality of it. Acuna doesn't make much sense, and I think that card's going to start to go back up because he's got a potential playoff run. Same thing with Tatis, although Tatis, I understand it coming down a little bit from the highs because, in the middle of the year after he won, Player of the Month, we were talking about that was a guy who was a shoo-in almost for the MVP, and now he needs to really have a great week to win the MVP. A lot of people say that he's been passed up by a bunch of people, his own teammate, Manny Machado, maybe, Mookie Betts, maybe, although he hasn't really been that hot. Freddie Freeman's in the discussion. He'll still get votes, but he has cooled off. I think he's got 2 or 3 hits in his last 20 at bats or something like that. So it's natural to see that come down because you're right. Everybody is so keyed into what's going on right now. It's a what have you done for me lately type of market. And it hasn't always been like that, but that's an explanation for it. But remember, the flip side to that is if you're investing in the right guys, if you're investing in guys who can do amazing things, what if Tatis goes out there and has 3 home runs per game and takes out the Dodgers and goes to the World Series and does what Soto did in the World Series last year? You're going to hope you bought the Tatis on this little dip. So, it's I don't think that there's anything, different with basketball cards and baseball cards than anything else. I mean, look, almost everybody across the board in basketball that's out of the playoffs has dipped now too, significantly. I mean, Luka Silva, which is one of the better investments you could put not Luka Silva, Luka base PSA 10, one of the best investments you could probably put your money in. That was $2,000. Now it's $1,200. I mean, that's a 40% drop. That's huge. So, everything kind of goes down when they're out of sight and out of mind. But the fun part about it, at least in recent history, is once they're back in sight and in mind, the NBA draft was pushed back till November 18th. People will start talking about NBA again. I heard that they're going to try to start the season up on Christmas because that's usually like the national televised, the Christmas Day game, the Madison Square Garden Knicks game. We'll see if it happens. Maybe it gets pushed back to January. But, in the lead up to the next season, Luka's cards are going to go right back up. So it's just the natural order of things in the hobby.
Okay, second question. Kyler Murray. Buy, hold, sell. You're sitting on a prison PSA 10 rookie Kyler Murray. What do you do with it?
So I gave Murray as one of my picks before the season. I said buy his stuff now. But if you did buy it now, I'd say you sell it.
Let me just real quick. Okay, give me your spiel, and then I want to add a second layer.
Sure. So he was great. I mean, he's very, very good. He's very, very talented. I like what he's done. But I don't think he's going to win anything this year. I think his division's too good. I think he is not as good yet as Russell Wilson is. I think he's not as good yet as a lot of other quarterbacks are. And his couple of game performance this year and the few games last year don't justify the significant jump in his price. And when a price jumps that much, if the guy does not perform perfectly, like we're talking about having a 13-3 season, going to the playoffs, and at least going to the Super Bowl or the conference championship game, something like that, if that's almost already all baked into his prices, that doesn't happen. You're going to see a significant drop in his prices. And I'm not ready yet to say that he's there. His prices have already basically baked in a lot of success that he hasn't yet had. Also, his style of play, wide open, running all over the place, it's difficult to match that up with. He's a small guy, so I'm sure he's built like a Mack truck, but he's still small for a quarterback. He's small compared to he's small compared to me, first of all, let alone the defensive guys who are chasing him around the field. So
let me add
that's not a good recipe for success in the NFL, especially think of what kind of day we just saw yesterday. I mean, it basically was like, like we said, is anybody's ACL safe? So go ahead, what's the wrinkle?
I think you're gonna really like this. So I have Prism PSA 10. I just got it graded, and I was 100% certain to sell the Murray card after yesterday's game. Let me read you his next games. Ready?
Uh-huh.
It's gonna blow your mind. I think Lions, Panthers, Jets, Cowboys, Seahawks, bye week, Dolphins. Wow.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure when we gave the pick that we even talked about his schedule and how going into the bye week he might win almost every one of those games, and he's definitely going to perform in most of those games. I don't know if he's even undefeated going into the bye week, but he's definitely got the potential to put up some significant numbers. But that card, how much more does it have in it? I think that card is already.
I think it's gonna be at 1,500 or even higher at the bye week, and I would sell right around that time when he's in MVP contention, because I think he's gonna be an MVP. Talk is different than being really an MVP, right? There's a difference between Russell Wilson and Kyler, but I think he's going to be in the conversation right before that game that they play against the Seahawks, and I would either sell it week 7, which is October 25th, or if they happen to beat the Seahawks, which I think it's possible, they're at home, they go into a bye week right after that on week 8, and that's a great place to sell it.
Listen, I like it. I like looking at the schedule. I like looking at the ancillary things. My thought on it is there are a lot of people who went into this season grading Kyler Murray cards, like yourself.
Yep.
And every week that goes by, another couple of Kyler Murray PSA 10s come back from PSA. And there is more and more supply coming in all the time on his cards. And I think the price that it's at now for a base PSA 10, Kyler Murray, I think all of what we've talked about just now is already baked in. Could it go to 1,500? Sure. What happens if he gets upset? What happens if he loses to the Cowboys? I know you don't like Dak Prescott. What happens if he loses to the Cowboys?
Like
what happens if there's an upset? No, what if there's an upset? What if there's an upset? What if his team loses one of those games that you think he's definitely gonna win? And he has a stinker of a game. And he throws up 3 interceptions. You know, it's great to lay out the plans, but I don't know who said it. My wife says it all the time.
I know who said
That's
it.
why
Mike Tyson said that.
That's why they play
Everyone
the
has
games.
a plan until you get. Everyone has a plan until you get punched in the mouth.
Yeah, but that's the key. But besides that, it's that's why they play the games, right? You ever heard that saying? It's why they play the games. The games aren't played on
That's what
paper.
your wife says to you?
Says it all the time. Whenever we're watching sports, and I'm like, oh, can you believe that happened? That's such an upset. And she's like, that's why they play the games. And it's a great saying, right? I mean, you know, Kyler Murray, you're right. If they weren't actually going out there and there wasn't 300-pound defensive linebackers chasing him around on every single play, looking to separate his head from his shoulders on every play, and the games were played on your little notepad that tells me who he's playing against between now and the bye, I will tell you the card will be worth $1,500. Hang on to it till the bye.
I hear you. I would say that this is maybe one of the easiest opening schedules I've seen in a long time.
You know who else had an easy schedule? Do me a favor. You got your schedules in front of you? Look at the Broncos schedule was like before the bye.
But the Broncos are not nearly as good as they don't have as many weapons as
You're missing the point.
I'm not missing the point.
You are.
Their schedule's way harder.
You're not that. No, there's an easy schedule for the Broncos. Had a fairly easy schedule before the break.
No.
And what's that going to do for Drew Lock?
Dude, their schedule's tough. They play the Titans. They play the Steelers. Bucks.
The Titans who lost to who?
Titans just beat Minshew, man. If you could
The
beat
Titans
Minshew Mania,
the Titans who
Titans
should have
are
lost to the
2-0.
Jaguars. The Titans who should have lost to the Jaguars, right? So the Titans, the
There's
mighty
no should-have.
Titans. The Broncos would beat the
Nation,
Titans.
settle this debate. Settle this
Yes.
debate in the comments.
Yes, settle it.
Please tell us who has an easier schedule in the first 7 to 8 weeks of the season. Is it the Denver Broncos or the Arizona Cardinals? I'm not even going to read out these games because I can't help but laugh. And I love Cage. And I
The Jets, the Dolphins, the Falcons, who will be up 30-0 on them and lose. Well, right now the Broncos are going to lose every one of them because they don't have.
That's
Drew Lock.
week 9.
They don't have them anymore.
That's week 9. The Broncos schedules: Titans, Steelers, Bucks,
Jets, Patriots, Dolphins, Chiefs. Get the those. They're gonna go 2-6 in that schedule. And the Dolphins are no joke, man. They're not going to beat the Dolphins.
Well, now they're not. They're not going to beat anybody now. They don't have a quarterback.
Yeah, John Elway's coming out of retirement.
This is the point. The point that I'm trying to make is even those games that they should have won, and you could look at them and say, oh, you know what? And I'm pretty sure I did this. Oh, week 3, great time. There's going to be a lot of talk about Drew Lock. He's going to be playing against Tom Brady. And then he's going to go from the hype of that game into beating the Jets. And then he's going to go from that. He's going to play against the Patriots. And it's going to be a talked about game, 1 o'clock game. And then he's going to beat the shit out of the Dolphins. And then he's going to have a matchup against Mahomes. All these like marquee matchups. Look at all these great things that are going to be out there that everybody's going to be talking about. Drew Lock. You know what's talking about Drew Lock now? His doctor. So just be careful. Just be careful when you think, oh, I got it all planned out, and don't worry about it. Kyler Murray is going to have the greatest season on earth. A lot of people thought the same thing about Saquon Barkley. So,
oh my God, this guy's on another level today.
It's football, bro. It's football. Football's different. It's a different animal. Football, I can tell you from somebody who's got 3 metal pins holding his left hip together from football. So. Football's it's a different animal.
I couldn't agree with you more. Injuries are as real as they come. All right, there you guys go. We've rambled a little bit today. I'm pissed that the Heat aren't playing. Kay just pumped that his Las Vegas Raiders are playing the Saints. The 2 plays we had for you today are the Kobe Fleer Ultra rookie card. Please, please, please understand how condition sensitive this card is. That's why the multiple grading it is so high. You're profitable with an 8. You're making a hand over fist with a 9. And if you're able to get a PSA 10, please call me and let me have it. Hey, remind me, who's your play? Who's your play?
SGA Prism 2018. Don't make me spell it again because I know you want me to.
No, I hope our community could go to Google and type in shy.
Card number 184 2018 Prism. You can buy the thing for, like I said, there's one available right now as we're doing this episode for $19.80. There's plenty available in the 20s. Pick them up. He's gonna have another great year, and I mean, even before he gets back on the court, this thing will be $30 plus. So,
I love it, man. And can I give you a quick alternate to that?
Sure.
Don't be scared of buying a shy PSA 9 if it's at least has some glimmer of hope to get a BGS 9.5. And crack that bitch and send it to BGS over
it's a great point, actually, by the way, because I'm not a Kraken and resub guy, but I know that those cards are created difficult. But I did this summer get back 2 PSA 9s, and one of them was like, I mean, it was gorgeous. I mean, I pulled it out of a pack myself. And I'm like, this card's great. I don't see anything wrong with it. It's not one, that's got any scratch. It's perfectly centered, you name it. And I cracked it out myself, which I'm always nervous doing, but I cracked it out of the case myself and had somebody else sub it for me. Instead of me resubbing it after just getting 9s on it, somebody else sub it for me. And I don't have the card in hand yet, but he told me today that the grades popped and it got a 10. So it's just, I mean, it's a nice little, we could do a whole episode on this, Andrew, and we probably should, about cracking and resubbing and what that means and whatnot. But I'm only putting this in here, one, because it's the card, right? So it's the card, it's my pick. But, Andrew's idea of, seeing if it's a BGS 9.5 or, don't shy away from 9s because they're really good 9s out there. It's all true. And, a card that's in a 9 case, it could just as easily be in a 10 case. So,
dude, it's close, man. It's close, and I'm still trying to figure out grading. Like right now, with my guy who I inspect cards with, we're literally looking at every single Fleer Ultra Kobe on the market and trying to identify the difference between a PSA 9 and a PSA 10. So like, it's slim. He's looked over a ton of my cards, and he says your PSA 9 looks as good as any PSA 10, and we just got a sub back.
That happens. I have cards that are PSA 9s that are better than any 10s that I've seen. Obviously, I'm biased because it's my 9, but there are a lot of those out there. Trust me.
Sometimes you're biased, but sometimes you're like, this is a little bit off. You could be. There's times where you're biased, but there's times like where you cracked and resubbed your SGA. You're like, this is not right.
Yep.
And that's where it's worth taking another risk. You know, it's worth the dropping another $20. With the Kobe Fleer, I think it's really worth it because the upside is so great.
Well, listen, I have an eye for it, I think, because I've cracked one card this year, and that was it. And it was a 9 that I didn't think was a 9, and it came back a 10.
Guys,
So,
if you guys need any help with cracking or you need us to recommend someone, please send us a DM. KK Sports cracks cards for people for a few bucks. I know a few other subbers that crack for people.
well, let's do an episode on it.
Okay.
Let's do an episode on it, and we'll do a full thing about grading, about crossover grading, about rehold the ring if people need that, differences between the companies and that kind of stuff. But I only brought up the this 9 to a 10 because it happened to be my pick. So
the subbing and the grading is where I've made my money, and which has allowed me a ton of freedom to go and buy actually cards that I want for my personal collection.
100% accurate. No disputing that at all. All right, Luca Nation. We hope you're enjoying all the content. Let us know if you want to hear something else.
We love you.
Talk to you soon, guys. Thank you for spending some time with us on another episode of the Lucas, Tigers, and Bronze Oh My podcast. Do us a favor and like, subscribe. You know what? Don't just like and subscribe. Everybody does that. If you like us, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your enemies, tell everybody. And we hope you got something from spending some time with us today, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.